Question number 1. Do you have any advice on setting up LLCs for my businesses and determining how to pay myself? All right, so with this question, let's break this question down into 2 parts. The first portion of the question is setting up the various LLCs. So we always recommend that you set up some type of LLC or some type of entity to help from an asset protection standpoint. I think the first thing people should be very aware of is that the entity itself very rarely has any type of control over the taxation of your businesses. Very rarely. There are occasions where it does, but very rarely does the entity type control taxes, especially LLCs. Especially LLCs. LLCs are more of an asset protection strategy. It is designed to help limit your liability. So in the event that you were sued, they can really only come after assets of the business and not after assets of you personally. Now, you do have to not pierce that corporate veil. And what that means is that you must make sure that you're not commingling your assets. Meaning you can't be paying for business expenses out of your personal account and out of your personal expenses out of the business account. You can't commingle those assets. You can do transfers. For example, you may say, hey, I have this one particular credit card that really gives me a lot of great points, but it's in my personal name. So I want to run all of my business expenses on this card and then let the business pay for it. Well, what typically would have to happen is that you would absolutely have to make sure that you are properly reimbursing yourself. Now, depending on your entity type, there may be some additional rules that you need to follow to properly reimburse yourself. But you want to make sure that you have the appropriate documentation, you figure out what that total charge is, and then you'll do a transfer from the business account to pay for that personal credit card expense. So you want to try to keep your books and records as clean as possible with the least amount of commingling possible to make sure that you're not piercing that corporate veil. Now, when you want to determine how to pay yourself, that's going to be a question that's going to be a little bit more in depth.